Ever since seeing Magnum PI as a kid, maybe even the Brady Bunch go to Hawaii, I've wanted to visit the islands. I would finally get my chance a couple of years ago and decided to do it upright. I was going to the Big Island, Hawaii, and I rented a convertible, staying in a nice hotel, was going to go snorkeling and swimming, all that great stuff. And I would. But I would get an unexpected guest. You see, it would happen the first day I was there. I hopped in the car and I was going to go look at this sacred valley. Threw my bag in the back and started driving. Maybe an hour and a half later, I showed up at the valley, parked the car, and was getting ready to walk. But I thought, I better grab my bag, my camera's in there. When I went to reach for my bag, it was covered in ants, black ants, all over it. Not just ants, but eggs, everywhere. I freaked out, pulled my bag out, got the camera out, started swatting the ants out, pulled the mat out of the back seat, hit it against the floor to get the ants out. It seemed to go okay. I'd never seen this many ants. I wasn't sure how they got in, but I was just so in a rush to get on with my vacation, I didn't think much about it. I was a little freaked out, but I went into the valley, enjoyed it, got back in the car, went about my business. 2 days later, I was going to walk a volcano at night. Wonderful experience, pitch black. Get back to the car, it's around 3 a.m. Driving back to the hotel, not feeling very good. Starting to sweat, I thought, it's late. Then I looked at my legs, and I had bite marks all over them. I thought, wow, that must have been something eating at me while I was walking along that volcano. I had a high fever that night. By the next morning, though, it had gone away. I felt a lot better. Just got in the car and started driving. I reached down at one point to scratch my leg and realized there were ants on my leg. Then I looked and the whole car was still infested with ants. And then drove like a madman to return the car. I freaked out on the rental people. Of course, they did nothing about it. They're like, it's Hawaii. Later that day, I would go snorkeling. Beautiful area. I would sit down, was letting my legs sit in the water to soothe the ant venom pain. And I thought, wow, this really is a beautiful place. But it is fraught with peril. And I understood exactly what Magnum went through every week. He was living in paradise, but that paradise was dangerous. And if he wanted to live there, he had to accept both of those things. And I did at that point. I put the ants out of my mind. I said, that's just Hawaii. And I enjoyed the rest of my vacation. On today's show, we're going to talk about Magnum PI. We're going to talk about the characters, the actors who played them, the plot, how the show came to be, its success, and we're going to touch upon its future. Since this is Metagirl's favorite show, she is back with not one, but 2 top 5 lists for this week. We got a really great program ahead of us, so without further ado, let's start the show.